Well, navigating love in this time of COVID can create some unexpected challenges. Kristen recently spoke with matchmaker Kate O'Connor with It's Just Lunch DC for some tips on dating during a pandemic.
Kate, it's so good to see you. How have you been?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
We're good. We're hanging in there. This coronavirus, this pandemic is changing the way that we are doing everything in our lives, and that includes dating. So let's start with that. How has this pandemic forever changed dating?
Honestly, I think we're all getting really creative right now, but romance isn't dead. Love isn't dead, so that special need is always going to be there. And really, we're using virtual introductions right now, and everyone's loving it. So dating is still very much alive, just a little bit different than it was at the beginning of the year.
What about singles that have been talking virtually, talking over the phone or email, and they want to meet in person? How can they do that safely and really make the most of it?
Yeah, you definitely need to have a conversation to make sure that you feel comfortable, to meet them in person and you like them. But wear a mask, be protective with one another while you do go out on a date. I don't think you need to wear it the entire time that you're together, but just show that you actually care about their safety is going to be the number one thing. But outdoor activities I will highly encourage, or just like a quick little date is definitely a good option for singles to still have that face-to-face encounter.
So it's okay to ask the person you're talking to wear a mask, right? I feel like you're going to learn a lot about somebody and just how they're conducting themselves during a pandemic.
Definitely, and I would advise every single just wear a mask, because you don't want to be that person on the date that's showing up like kind of causing a scene, so just assume it. But I would say go ahead and ask to make sure. You can even make a joke out of it so it's not so serious, like you better be wearing that mask when I see you, just a little something like that. But it's also like being direct too, I think. So nothing wrong with that.
What other types of questions or things should somebody know before they're meeting up with somebody right now during this time?
Yeah, I would just see what they've been up to over the last couple of weeks. Make sure they're not going to any crazy vacations or crowd surfing, anything like that. But you also just want to make sure that you don't hear any sniffles or coughing when you're talking to them. And I would just say get their overall opinion on coronavirus. It's not the whole topic of conversation, but you can gauge where somebody's at and what they think about coronavirus when you guys are just talking about what you're doing during quarantine. So I think that's really important. But
what if you've been talking to somebody, over like we are, or over text, and you really like them, you're ready to meet them in person, but their safety precautions don't line up with yours? Like they refuse to wear a mask and you want to. What do you do then?
So you show up on a date and they have a mask on. I would be definitely standing back a little bit, kind of making jokes myself, because that would make me uncomfortable. It really depends on the person, I think. But if you honestly feel uncomfortable because your date's not wearing a mask, I think it's fair to say, hey, I don't like this. Can you put your mask on or else I'm going to leave? It's okay. If you feel uncomfortable, you stand up for yourself.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself first. Obviously, Digital dating has been a thing for a while, right? The apps, online. What advice do you have for people going forward just to get the most out of it and really get to know somebody, like questions to ask or things they should be looking for?
Yeah, have fun with it. I feel like the fact that you're already doing a virtual introduction, you get to see what their background is like and what kind of noise is happening in the house. So I think that's a nice little ice there. But just figuring out hobbies and interests, what did you do this summer that you hadn't planned on doing? What do you have going on for the rest of the year? And I think things are steadily getting better in terms of everyone's changing or adjusting. So there's options to still do stuff and learn about others. We're not just sitting around knitting a blanket, So I think it's okay to ask those questions, and that will break the ice. I've been telling people, don't eat on virtual dates. It's down too much attention to your mouth, and nobody needs to see that. So just have a drink and have a nice conversation. Keep it casual. You're screening one another is how I look at it, to see if you want to meet them up in person.
It can already be awkward to eat in front of somebody at a first date, let alone virtually. So I like that. Number one tip, do not eat virtually.
Number one, across the board, yes.
Kate, thanks so much for all these great tips. Where can we go to find more about you and your matchmaking services?
It's justlunchdc.com. Come and look us up.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Great to see you. Stay safe and be well to you and your family.
Thank you, you too.